Salute to everyone who's watching. Today we're going back to dominance. So, ladies, I wanna explain something to you. Why is it a sacrifice for a man to marry you? So, I did a whole lot of live videos on Facebook, but I want to do this on YouTube so that you can be able to realize why is it a sacrifice for a man to marry you. You see, in as much as you might not agree with me when it comes to this one, marriage is more of um, an achievement to a woman than a man, because men are the gatekeepers of relationships, are the gatekeepers of marriage. They are the ones that determine if a woman is going to be married. The woman is the one that prepares herself and prunes herself so that she knows if she's going to get married. That's why recently I shifted my focus from the man to the woman and given their attention to the woman so that they can be able to become more suitable partners in marriage. So right now, it is a privilege for a woman to get married. It is. A man marries more because he's avoiding a lot of things. He wants to be more stable. Um, he's sacrificing his options because I already did a video on my XYS movement that women are born with value and men have to build value. And if you want to watch it, you're welcome to. I'll leave the card over here so that you can have access to my YouTube channel on the XYS movement. The point I'm trying to make is that men, because of the fact that they are the gatekeepers of relationships, they are the ones that determine if the relationship successful or not. The woman is the gatekeeper of the sex, and she's the doorway to determine if sex is going to be there or not. And something you should note, and I don't want to go into very much detail when it comes to what I just said, is that the easier the gatekeeper opens the door, it is the more they are perceived as weak. What do I mean when I say that? The easier a girl gives sex to a man, and I'm not talking about making a transactional sex, make it a validational sex. If you don't know the difference, I'll leave the card on the on above. The easier she does it, the easier, or the easier she is, the more she's seen like a slut. She's seen like a woman that is not worth being a relationship in. And the same can be said for a man. The more a man, or the easier it is for a man to give a woman a relationship by rewarding her for free, it is the more he's seen as a weak man. And that is the reality. So because of the fact that women know that men are the ones that are the gatekeepers of relationships, they will test you to see how valid you are and how reliable you are by giving you sex, and in the terms of sex suggest the idea of relationship with you, and they will do anything to get into a relationship with you, and they will see how much you are willing to validate them. And the moment that you validate them, the moment that they're going to see that you're weak. But if you make them chase your validation by not just giving that relationship for free, by that just not rewarding them for free, by working for it, by constantly making her chase that relationship from you, she is going to appreciate it even more once she gets it. So you have to show them that that is the case. They have to work for your relationship. You understand? So why does this matter when it comes to marriage? You see, because of the fact that a man is the one that is the gatekeeper of a relationship, and a man is the one that builds value, because a woman reaches the peak of her beauty, her English. She reaches the peak of her beauty from 16 to 30 years old without even doing anything. She doesn't have to do anything. She's at her most beautiful at that range. But it's different for a man. A man is not automatically, he reaches his peak of his beauty according to how resourceful he becomes, because he doesn't have a choice like a woman. A man is not given that privilege, because no one is going to come and save him. Only a woman is saved. So he reaches the peak of his, a man usually are at their most resourceful from the ages of, let's say, 35 to 50. That's why you would see them at that age date younger women, have access to younger women in their peak, because they're at that most resourceful. And at that time they have the options. You understand? They have more options than women. Because let me tell you something, women don't have options as much as they say they do. Let me explain why in a few seconds. You see, you as a woman, if you had the chance to evaluate right now, how many guys approach you that you want, and you say zero, it means that you don't have options. You can't tell me about just any guy that approaches you. Tell me about the amount of guys that approach you that you want. If it's zero, then you don't have options. But a man has options, because he's the one that pursues, that initiates. So that is the one that has options. So now, because of the fact that he has options, and when he decides to ignore those options, because as he grows, he becomes more in his peak, and he becomes richer, and he has more earning power because of experience and doing all of that. Not every guy does that if they're not lazy. Then they have more options, and they have access to more options, then they decide to marry you. Know that a guy who does that has sacrificed a lot, because he's going to, he might regret it at some stage, but he's not going to think about it a lot if you make the effort to satisfy him in as much as you want him to satisfy you. And I will do a whole lot video about what are the things that subconsciously turn on a guy that women do. So when you satisfy him and he has a lot of options, why do you think, let me ask you a question, as I'm doing this video right now, why do you think that when a guy reaches his peak of his beauty, even when he's married to you, and you don't take care of yourself, you don't satisfy him in as much as he wants to be satisfied, why do you think he starts looking at younger girls? He looks at them because they are in their peak, and he's in the hope that they do things that will turn him on. Because when you are in your peak, that is when you are in your most fertile, that's when you are the most beautiful, and you can't be more beautiful in a marriage. If you can't be more beautiful in a marriage, then he will deem his sacrifice useless. He will deem it, and he will start cheating on you. And you will say whatever you have to say, that a guy who loves you will accept you for who you are and whatnot. Yes, they will accept you for who you are, but you can't just relax and become comfortable and say that he should accept you for who you are if you don't work on yourself. And I will explain more in that video. Actually, I think I'll do it after this one, because like I mentioned in a lot. So I want you to know that he sacrificed the options that he's going to have you, and you have to adapt to the situation. That's why you see some women are 40 years but they look 20 years. It is because they understand what marriage is, and they understand what a man needs, so that he can know that his sacrifices are not deemed useless. That is what is wrong with modern women. They are more interested in a guy satisfying them, but they don't know what they bring to the table. Because now they want a man, okay, they want a guy who's a six-figure guy, who's tall, who's handsome, who has a six-pack and all of that. Yes, you get him. What do you give him? Support. You give him you give him something that someone else can give him without you. Because now what you need from him, you can't get it from someone else. In you can't supplement it from someone else. Yes, you want a guy who is six-figure. You know that you can't what he can give you, you can't give it to him in terms of supplementing. You can't, no one can come in his place and do what he can do for you. No one can come there and build a house in his place, but someone can come into your place and clean for him and support him. Know what you can give him that no other lady can give him. Have that niche. It's not about only cooking and cleaning, even though those are the one of the type of the things that turn a guy on. But those are not only the things that you can do, as much as I'm going to mention all of that in that video. So guys do a lot. And if you can't appreciate the fact that he made that sacrifice of marrying you and choosing you out of all the ladies, let me tell you something. It is an achievement for a lady to get married. Why do you think in the wedding they always talk about the lady having the achievement to get married? No matter, notice that every time it's not the achievement to a guy to get married, it's an achievement to a lady that she got married. Because out of all the ladies that he had the option to marry, he married you. And it is more hyper if he's a successful, or he you can see that he's burning up, like he's going to attract a lot of resources. They are going to see the lady and they're going to tell her how lucky she is, because that's it. You understand? That's the way it is. And learn to appreciate the guys that choose you, that are hyper attractive to other ladies, but they choose you and they choose not to engage with those ladies. Learn to appreciate. It's not about only just giving, it's about actually thanking him sometimes. Thanking him that he chose you and he is your man. Do that, then you're going to see something different. So give this video a big thumbs up to show me that you like this content that right now I'm focusing on. I want to focus on the ladies, because the guys I'm going to focus on them more on my conferences and more on face-to-face and more on WhatsApp. But on YouTube, I want to focus more on the ladies on this channel, and I'm going to really grill you guys so that you can be able to be marriage material. So indicate with a big thumbs up if you want those kind of things, and please check out my Patreon channel, where I'm going to talk about more detail on becoming the true you, and really just even your relationships in terms of the principles on relationships, so that you can become more successful in your relationship, ladies and gentlemen. So always remember /TechXYS, so just reach you out.